Would have moved back up. Very, very rarely has this stock done a move like this. Once, maybe twice, but never this kind of percent gain this quickly. Maybe twice. Morning, Steve. Horrible. Dude, absolutely horrible. I played Raj. That I think he's an Indian guy, and I should have beat him the first two games, but I choked at the very end, and he beat me. It was terrible. And then Jadrin lost too. Oh yeah, you were there for that part. Yeah, we got our asses kicked. Nero, good morning. Cardinal Health is holding up well too. Maybe we get that moved down to 320 on the SPY. That would be something, huh? That would be something. Yeah, yeah, things are rejecting pretty hard. I mean, right up to the 20 in rejection. But who knows, right? Who the hell knows? Yeah, some of my positions are holding up well. We'll see. IRDM looks great. MBIX looks good. This REGN and VRTX have a little bit of room to work. Just get moved up slowly. No, I'm not watching any weed stocks. Until the federal government legitimately legalizes, it's just full of retail traders, man, and with tons of overhead. And I don't see zero. I see zero setups, and that's not to say they can't go higher, because they definitely could. But you know, there's tons of people that are just bag holding the shit out of Tilray, and it's whatever the hell the other name is, CGC, ACB. It's just loaded with bag holders, man. And institutions aren't accumulating and buying it because it's still illegal federally. Until that changes, institutions are not buying. It's just what it is. I mean, I have a friend who works at an institution, and he runs like a portfolio for Goldman, and they've all been instructed to not, buy and hold marijuana stocks because of federal regulation. So, you know, that's coming from somebody that I know's got their shit together, and if that's what he tells me, then plus I see zero setups. I don't need him to tell me that super obvious fact with the setups the way they look. I mean, they look like shit still. You know, until the feds change their actual policy, and then maybe. And when they actually set up to go higher. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, some things came back down on me, which sucks, but for the most part, most things held up well. We'll have to see what happens at the open. I've got no interest in buying anything today. Nothing. So oil and gas names are insane, though. Yeah, no interest at all in buying any of this crap. Once the market gets better direction, then we can get back to opening up positions or adding to them. You know, and I was even sitting here thinking too that this pullback would be good for some of these energy names. So if this market dumps, names like DVN, what are they going to be pulling back to? Ascending moving averages, right? Gives us an opportunity for, these charts to set up properly. Oh, they've just been going vertical, man. It's crazy. This signal might be good down the road. Slow as shit, but might be good. Who knows? Yeah, I saw LVS the other day. I don't like the win chart so much. Yeah, I don't like the win chart so much. Not yet. LVS had a better setup, but I just passed on it. It's been kind of incredibly strong. But I've got no thoughts on them yet. You can't buy this. Market looks like shit, and this is up 4 straight days in a row off these lows. I mean, where's the setup? But they're strong. Looks like people are still going to gamble. That's what it looks like to me. It's what it looks like to me. Some of these financial names look good, man. RJF needs just a little bit of time. Basically hanging out right at all-time highs. Seems pretty obvious where this name will end up. IBKR. Not quite near all-time highs, but the trend's definitely changing. Yeah, Schwab's starting to look way better too. LPLA, that's why you're making new highs. Holy shit. Financial institutions are really actually doing pretty good. I guess just a handful of them actually. Top few. Yeah. Thing is when I scan, I'm really only seeing two sectors right now, and that's energy names, and that's healthcare, biotech, and then maybe some financial names. But you know, I mean, the sector could be waking up. Problem is, it's just two names, right? Yeah, it's just Win and LVS, and this setup sucks really. It would need a lot more time. Nice base, push out, build a new base, get tight above all moving averages in a healthy market. Okay, fine. Sounds good. But in here, in this market, the shit's just, it's not perfect. I don't know. Had a nice neckline. You could have bought that, I guess, but, right? I just don't know. These names just need more time, too. Besides, these things also have a lot of overhead, man. They're down a shit ton. Not really the names that I'd want to be in. They're down 40% still. It's these oil and gas names that got my attention, man. Plus all that OPEC cutting production, lowering production. I mean, if it's not obvious how strong Oxy is, I mean, painfully obvious how strong some of these names are. And to think I wanted to buy this undercut rally setup down at $58. Oh, that's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Yeah, wild moves by some of these names, man. Just insane. But yeah, I'm going to be sitting on my hands at market open. Just kind of watching the market reaction here and monitoring all my positions. Might have to trim a thing or two. Yeah, I'm still in Sava. I brought my average up to, or I bought my stop up to my average, and it wasn't hit. I mean, almost hit, I guess. But I took 20% off yesterday into this nice push. Hindsight, I should have sold way more, but whatever. It'll be a green trade no matter what. Oh, nice. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about the smaller time frame like that, honestly. After I sold some, I was just like, all right, I'll just move the stop to break even, see what happens. Maybe I'll get lucky. Oh, I was thinking maybe I'll get lucky. But yeah, I'm just gonna manage what I have at open. My buddy did a better job at trimming. He cut 50% up at the top. I only cut 20. Morning. Exciting day to do nothing. Yep. Minus BSM. Yeah, SRPT's fine. Wasn't fun to watch it come all the way back yesterday, but closed well. It's gapping down this morning along with everything else, so we'll see. Yeah, I won't be doing much of anything today. Honestly, I got a ton of positions open, so it's just gonna be managing and trimming. Honestly, if market's gonna look weak, I'll probably just take a few more pieces off of some of these names that have shown strength recently. Re-add to them later. Like this IRDM, let a few go. The rest I'll just like stops on REGN are back at break even. VRTX That could be a small red one. You know, DV, I'm still giving it some room to work. CCRN will be a green trade no matter what, which is nice. AMLX, we'll just give it time. Feels like this name's going to go higher too. But yeah, a lot of names look okay. I mean, they survived this ugly morning dump. We'll see though, because something can change on a dime, you know? Yeah, exactly. Absent a follow through day. We haven't even had a follow through day in the market. My positions are green. Would love it if we ever got one in the next 10 days. Otherwise, you know, down to 3,200 would be sweet. Good luck, guys. Market's about to open. Really? Dang. Just got taken out of Wolf. Yeah, I'm watching it. Wow. Yeah, this is a nice power earnings gap setup. AEHR, NFLX is a nice little chart too. But yeah, I liked their earnings yesterday. They had great earnings. Yeah, it was good. They had great earnings compared to a year ago. Accelerating earnings. Oh, damn, PCTY. That sucks. AMLX, nice. CCRN, hopefully still bouncing right on this 10. Would be great. TV looks fine. It's been hanging out at my average so damn long. Wow. I can't even believe what I'm seeing with DVN right now. Another fucking Green Day this thing's gonna print? I mean, unreal if this does. Fucking bananas, man. Good afternoon. Steve, what are you in Asia or something? Where are you hanging out, bro? Good afternoon. Of which one? Oh, okay. I mean, I would just wait for another better setup. Personally, I mean, there's no rush to get into anything right now. What's insane is how incredibly strong these oil and gas names are. This is starting to get a little mind bending. Oh yeah, take some off. Yeah, I mean, 20%. Or really at this point, if you've already sold in the strength, wait a little bit and let it show you that it's going to close below like the 10 on the hourly, and then take. Yeah, and then yeah, okay, maybe sell another little piece. Again, I'm incredibly shocked how still strong these oil and gas names are without like them, pulling back. I mean, this shit's getting ridiculous. All right, girl, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I think my dog's dying to go outside again. All right, baby girl, we'll take you outside right now. Guys, I'll be back in 5 minutes. My dog's gonna drive me crazy here. I think she's got to go to the bathroom again. Yeah, all my shit's acting really well still. That's kind of crazy. I got stopped out of Wolf this morning. It was the only one. It was the only victim. And it's funny because, of course, I might have bottom ticked it again, but I just had a hard stop in place. So yeah, LNG. It's funny. I got stopped out of this thing twice yesterday for tiny, tiny, tiny losses, and I didn't rebuy it again. Yeah, I literally lost like maybe $2,500 on LNG yesterday. Fucking name. Yeah, this DVN is wild. Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. All my shit's acting well, so I might as well just be patient here. Everything looks good. This MBIX finally working too. Nice to see. Kern. Sounds like a weed name, I believe. Oh, it's dumping. Oh, Tilray's dumping. Surprise, surprise. Total piece of shit names. I'm kidding. They could probably still go. The Feds just got to change their actual policy. Then who knows? In the future, we might be into them. But for now, MBIX sounds great. For now, these biotech names sound fucking awesome. PCTY, you fucking asshole. Alright, 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 alright. I'll be right back, guys. Let's go outside. Market going lower, huh? New here, you're not seeing any stream? I don't know. What happened with CANO? Yeah. It's a breakout. Did it halt? Wow. Wow. I mean, I had an alert. I just literally wasn't sitting at my screens. I wouldn't have been able to buy this anyway. Fucking dollar moving a blink of an eye. What a move. CANO. CVS said to be in talks to acquire Canoe. Yeah. I mean, it looked like AKRO. That's why I had an alert set on it. I wouldn't have been able to buy it because that happened a little too fast. I had to have been eyeing it and, kind of would have to have been watching like the...
Yo, you see Canoe?
Yeah, it's halted. Yeah, it was a nice setup, dude. But you would have had to have been in that already. And it wasn't perfect. And then the alert hit. I mean, even if your alert hit earlier, I don't know. This thing looks like it ran up in a minute. Yeah, it would have been impossible to buy. You'd have had to have been in earlier. Otherwise, how the fuck do you even play something like that? But awesome. It's cool to see. And again, guys, I've said this before. Why do you think good news came out? News favors trend. Okay? News favors the trend. Yeah, I scooped AEHR this morning too.
Did you or whatever?
I got like a. I'll tell you right now. 1574.
Yeah, nice. No, I added 50 more shares today.
And I got stopped out of Sava. It's too bad. Yeah, that sucks. CANO. Would have been a cool one. Would have been a good one.
What's the news?
Oh, it just unhalted. Oh, and a fat gap down. I'm sure it goes right back up, maybe.
Yep.
Well, Sava was small green. IRDM. I'm not going to sell any of this thing.
What's the news?
Something about CVS acquiring them, possibly. I tried to give this one name a chance to work. It didn't quite want to do it. AEHR's a monster. If this thing gets to like 1750s, I would trim a little piece today.
What?
AEHR.
Oh, yeah.
Lily's just fine. Realistically, gonna have my stop close at this 20. Yeah, that news was already old. Yeah, only the strongest stocks are going to survive this pullback here too. Like maybe an IRDM, maybe REGN, maybe. AMLX looks fine. MBIX looks great too. Some of these names don't seem to care too much. The PCTY though, sucker came all the way back on me. But PCTY, I moved my average up to flat, so, or I moved my stop up to flat. So if this thing really closes below this 50 on the hourly, I'll be out. So for the most part, I've taken a bunch of trades in the last few days that are going to result in flat or very near flat. Small green on some, small red on others. Tough environment to trade, honestly. Especially if the market's not in an upward direction. It's just fucking difficult. AEHR is cool. I bought it. I was ready for this one yesterday. I saw the news in after hours, and I knew that over pre-market highs I wanted to buy, or over after hours high. PCTYE bastard. No, some of these names just aren't surviving. Crude looks fucking insanely strong. Not surprised SOBR is dumping. I saw somebody pumping it the other day. Another piece of shit out there. Man, oil is crazy how strong crude is right now. Right to 92, huh? My thoughts on LXU? What sector is this in? Let's see. Chemicals. I mean, honestly, it's not bad. It's just it's super fast. It's kind of illiquid for the price. You know, there's not a lot of volume going on through here, but pretty clean pivot right here. But I wouldn't take it. You can. It's just too thin for me. I mean, risk is pretty tight down here too. You know, but I would just wait. This thing could get better. Could look nicer down the road. But you know what? It's not terrible. Built out a nice base, tried shaking back out after it got back up above moving averages, and what it do? Did it die? Nope, bounced right back up. Meaning that's a tennis ball. I like tennis balls. The problem is it's not so much that that setup can't work because you know you could have easily found a spot there to buy it, you know, maybe over the previous 2 days tops. But look at the market. I mean, your odds of success when the market's bleeding and it doesn't appear that it's gonna go higher, like this looks like it's gonna go lower. And I don't really give a shit, you know, what you own. You're gonna end up getting stopped out, or you know, it's gonna go lower. With maybe the exception of these oil gas names that are just continuously going higher. You know, like a DVN or LNG or whatever. But again, you can't buy these either. So, you know, this pullback in the market is great. You know, hopefully these names will pull back and tighten up and actually set up for a real setup. You know, because yeah, some cup and handle setups, some something setups. I mean, these are vertical setups. You know, I saw people on Twitter yesterday talking about how energy is the leading sector. Yeah, duh. And how they're going to be buying DVN and or you know Oxy. And I'm just like, yo, these like DVN just made damn near a 30% move off the lows. Like, if you like DVN so much up here, how come you didn't like it way the fuck down here? You know. And it was funny because I was actually, anybody in the stream knows, I was watching Oxy way down here at 58. And I didn't take it. But yeah, I like Oxy. I don't like it at 72. I liked it at 58 and I didn't take it. So why the hell would I take it after it's made a move like this? You know, they need to set up. They need to set up. I mean, again, I didn't take it at 58, and I see people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna buy Oxy and DVN." It's like, you fucking nuts. Um, yeah. Well, when I was scanning last night, because I scan every single night, um, AEHR was on my radar. I saw, and then I saw that they had earnings. So, I like buying earnings gaps. It's just one of my favorite setups. Plus, I had a really simple downtrend break on the daily. Nothing crazy. Wasn't some. I didn't feel like it was some, you know, difficult setup to buy. Just buy over pre-market highs. That's all. Or sorry, after hours highs. You know, 1560s, 1570s, and just size in properly. You know, I knew I had a dollar risk. This is what it is. You can only take how many ever comfortable you feel owning, knowing you're gonna lose a dollar. In my mind, personally, like, I wouldn't want to lose anything more than 10 grand on a trade like this for my own account. That would be stupid. This environment sucks. If the market was better, yeah, maybe. If semiconductors were a lot stronger, for sure. But semiconductors haven't been strong and this market sucks.
MJNE.
Might get stopped out of the CCRN too, which sucks, but would be about a little bit better than a flat trade. Yeah, yeah, it does show on my charting. So as I'm scanning, you see these little down here? It's telling me it had earnings, right? And then all I have to do is go to the news, and it was right there, right here. It sees full year revenue, and then so essentially raised guidance, and then they beat their EPS. SNDX is acting well. Some of these names are acting well. AMLX and SNDX in particular are acting really well, and they both are coming out of fairly similar bases. SNDX is a little bit better in my opinion. Choppier, but longer base. Damn. Brutal look for
MJNE.
the futures market. I mean, looks like we're about to, and they're gonna raise interest rates again in November.
MJNE.
I mean,
YCBT. MJNE.
who knows, man?
LTRY.
Yeah, there's not much for setups, and then the leading group a few weeks ago got taken out. Solars. I don't even want to look at FSLR. Well, you know what? FSLR is still holding up pretty damn well.
Derive. Step. MJNE. Aircraft. 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 DFCO.
Yeah, we'll see what sticks. We'll see what doesn't. I'm about to get stopped out of this one too. A bunch of flat, small green, small red trades past few days. Nothing crazy. Hard to make progress in this market. There are some names that are acting well, you know. This AMLX does look really nice, though. Looks like this thing wants more, personally. Like this move's just getting started. Maybe. We'll see how a few of these close, like PCTY. Could be perfect. Just bouncing it off the 10 on the daily. BSM looks nice. MBIX doesn't look too bad.
SPRC.
I was looking. I came across the Chinese EVs on my scans yesterday. What in the actual fuck happened? My goodness, XPEV is just on bleed mode right now. I don't think I've ever seen something like this. I mean, yes, I have, but this is getting a little ridiculous. Nope, somebody does not want to own XPEV anymore. Whoever had a massive position has been unwinding it for weeks. Yeah, Lee, it was the only high type flag in the market, and it wasn't even complete. Like this shit looked kind of weak. I actually bought Lee right here myself. Right on this day as it broke over this little wick on 6/14. That was my entry right there. I wanted to buy it through the previous day's high, but it gapped up and I couldn't do it, so I brought it over this little wick. Was almost stopped out on the screen day, but nope. Worked okay. Worked pretty well. But now, it's getting absolutely killed. Yeah, Tesla, Rivian look like shit. Lucid looks like shit too. These all look like shit. Actually, I wonder how Sark's looking. Better. Oh man. Fuck. Who knows? A couple more days, I might try to relaunch this thing again. Would be a nice little hedge for some of the open positions I have open. My CCJ's got to make up its mind today. Looks like it might be rejecting the 10. Higher lows, but, you know, it's not strong. And I've been wanting to add to this name, too. It's just hard. a lot of names aren't acting well. Yeah, it's gonna need some time, man. This market needs real time to heal. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure we got a couple more Fed rate hikes coming up this year, which, that's not going to help anybody. The labor market still, we want to see people losing jobs, not gaining jobs. I know that sounds fucked up to say, but it's what the Fed wants to see. Yeah, SRPT. I'm just gonna respect my stop. Same one as I had yesterday. I don't have big size, so yeah, I'm risking $1.50 on 1,200 shares. I could eat that all day long. My size is literally nothing. My two biggest positions are Lily and CCJ, and I'm green on both of them. I got a 315 on Lily, so we're good. It's got more than enough room to work. At least my biggest positions do, right? So I don't, like I can eat, like 100 and, it's like 100 and whatever $30,000 position in SRPT. So I'll eat the $1,500 loss if I'm wrong.
KSSRF.
Versus something like Lily, I got 3,200 shares of this thing. It's by far my largest position, but my risk was this really small when I got in, and I owned even more down here. I had 4,800 shares when I initially bought it at 312, just under 312. So I had an amazing trade, 6 figures overnight, and got super lucky, and then sold some more, and then down here, and then literally re-added 317s perfectly, and haven't touched it since.
Graham.
With no plans on touching it at all. So every now and again, I feel like I do a good job of like hitting it really, really hard. When I get a good opportunity, like a few weeks back with Oxy, I did it over here too. And this was like $170,000 winner. It's like my almost biggest winner in my career. And so that was nice, right? And then same thing with Lily. And so at taking $2,000 and $3,000 losses every now and again, but hammering it at the very right time, it's really why I don't think about, I just respect my stops. It's like you almost got to have that intuition of when is it a really beautiful setup? When can you absolutely hammer the table? I was being incredibly selective at the time. It was like, I only had like 3 positions open. So I was really, really focused on, the name I was watching. I mean, so some of you guys were here on stream the day I bought Lily. I mean, it was the only name on my front screen that morning. So, plus I love their news. I love the company. Yeah, and here's the thing. I will get incredibly selective when I do shit like that. And I'm not going to do that with every single position, and definitely not in this market. But market felt really oversold at this time, and, Lily was sitting there bucking the trend. And I did get lucky because Biogen released some news, right? Biogen released some news that, something about Alzheimer's, and I think it was like something to do with Lily as well. I don't remember exactly what, but again, just like CANO, good news. Why? Stock's in an uptrend. Bad news. Why? Stock's in a downtrend. I read a quote yesterday. It made total sense. No company's ever gone bankrupt in an uptrend. Let that shit sink in. No company has ever gone bankrupt in an uptrend. So simple. But yet people want to try to catch the bottom on stocks. That's the shit I don't get. Yep, yeah, yep. Nicholas Darvis was a very bright man. He knows exactly what the hell he's talking about. When a stock refuses to die, like SNDX, the market is out here making fresh lows, and for the last since May, SNDX has been putting in higher lows above moving averages. You know, God forbid the market shapes up and let's just hypothetical say that was bottom. SNDX is never coming back. I mean, maybe, but you get my point. Like this thing could go to 40 before it ever starts to really turn back around. This isn't a clean uptrend. Clean as fuck. I mean, some are a little bit sloppier than others, right? Some setups are a little bit sloppier than others, but you need to focus on stocks and uptrends, not downtrends. And then you just look for tight areas to buy shit from in a healthy market. And if the company's got great fundamentals and financials and earnings and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it just adds to the conviction to buy the thing, right? Because they've got accelerating growth and sales and numbers and new CEO and heading in a new direction, great company, whatever a catalyst might be. But if it's in an uptrend, if it's above moving averages, what more do you really need to see? Literally, what more? I don't need to see anything else. That's all I need to see. Then it's just a matter of looking for a tight entry. It's like, did I trade AEHR this entire time down here? Not one time. Guess what? Then it went up, right? And then they posted awesome earnings. And I just couldn't buy it because it wasn't like leaving a clean base on earnings. And then what? Pulled back, got found support on the rising or the flattening 200 and the rising 10, pushed right back up and went sideways. It was a perfect hourly setup right in here. Look right here. Guys, a move up, a pull back, a pop back up, and then a move sideways. There you go. And that's actually where I bought it. Right in there. Right on this hourly candlestick. Above all moving averages. Not absolutely nothing fancy about it, guys. Nothing fancy. And then eventually I stopped out on the rest. Okay, great. Sell some into a piece, which I did like right on this day. Stopped out on the rest. I missed out on a nice chunk, but whatever. And then it sets up again, just this nice little downtrend break. Now it's above all moving averages, like really, officially, when this earnings come. And then, you just buy the EP setup. And if you study the EP setups, then you would know exactly where I like to buy, which is over the after hours highs. And it's just that simple. I don't try to fish for bottoms at all. I just avoid trying to fish for bottoms. I've done it in the past. I've done it with some success, and I've also done it with a bunch of failure. So I just avoid it altogether. These fucking names just won't even consolidate any, dude. Unfucking believable.
UCL.
Man, if this didn't stop me out, that would be sweet. Yeah, a lot of names are pulling back to their breakout spot or right around my average, but now some of these ascending moving averages are now above my price. So, like on something like REGN, a close below the 10, and I'll just cut it and take the literally cents that I'm going to get off of it. Do I do some post analysis? What do you mean by that? So I can better answer that question. Yeah, what do you mean by do I do post analysis? Just so I can better help answer that question. Um, well, my only buy today was AEHR. My two sells today were Wolf, which, of course I bottom ticked it again. Almost could be like SGML, but I had a hard stop on this thing. I had a hard stop. When it sets up better, I'll re-enter. It would be shitty if this thing, it's basically right back at my average, and I ate a small loss on it. I had 1,000 shares, so I lost almost $2,000 there. But yeah, I mean, I bottom ticked it. My sells. I did the same shit on SGML not too long ago, but I don't know. Yeah, there's a couple times I look back and I could have done things better, but when you have a hard stop, you just have to respect it. Fucking real. These oil, this crude is going kind of vertical here. But I guess that's not so surprising, is it?
GMER.
Why would I do that? Why would I buy viewers? I don't give a shit if anybody's in this room. If only the same 5 people showed up, I'd still be here answering their questions.
LLLI.
Yeah. I can't do it. Yeah. Dude, I would rather, have a room of people who just really want to, study and go over the setups and, who are consistent and show up every day. Those are you guys are the ones who are going to end up succeeding hardcore. I don't need people in here watching this bullshit. I mean, this is boring if you're not a trader. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I should, so I can brag to my mom how many people I got in my Twitch stream. Brag to my friends. Say, guys, we got 250 people in the room watching. I've got the most insane Twitch room ever. Yeah, I honestly don't give a shit. I trade to make money, and any of you guys in this room, that ask questions, bless you guys, dude. You guys are working hard. Honestly, this has been a super tough environment, and for the most part, our eyes have been in the right places, and it's either been super small red, super small green, flat trades, some decent winners every now and again. I mean, there's really nothing else to do. It's survival mode in this market. Making some money as a swing trader, in this market is hard, and I've been doing fine. And I can't even imagine when things turn up. You got a lot of you guys that are struggling even at swing trading. Wait until the market gets better. You guys will be literally plucking dollar bills from the sky for free for days and days and days and days. You'll come up with one good idea, and 20 days later, you're just still sitting in there, you know, making money. You know, we don't need viewers in this room for that shit. The people who know already know. And if they don't know, they'll find out soon. VRTX, nice. Literally bouncing right where I would want it to. My stop on this thing is the 20 on the daily, so and my average is a 294. But I don't have a big position. I got 500 shares here, so basically I'd be losing like $2.50. So I'd like to see this thing set up again so I can add maybe a little bit as it takes out these tops. Right? As it takes out, these little tops. Would be a nice possible add.
FSTTF.
But for now, it's bouncing where it should, and I'll just continue to trail it on the 20. If it decides to bounce and this 20 keeps moving up, I'll just keep moving up my stop slowly. Same thing with this IRDM. This will be a green trade no matter what, even if it came all the way down to the 20 and closed below, which is always a nice feeling. It means I have the opportunity to already be incredibly patient with it, and that's what I want to be. I want to be super patient, and this is honestly the beauty of making sure that things are tight before you buy it. When they are, and it had a fairly nice setup going into this, the 10 and the 20 are stacked on top of each other. If this thing legitimately starts to break out like it did, well, now you're big time in the driver's seat. And yeah, again, it would suck to watch it come back to $3, but I don't know how far this thing can end up working. This thing could end up going for a really long time. REGN kind of bouncing where it's supposed to, finding support on the rising 10. And I moved my stop to break even on this one. I won't be using the 20. It's still too far down for now. CCRN did not stop me out, which was so nice. It was going to be the break of this low wick. Talk about lucky. And what? Now what's it doing? Finding support on the rising 10 and 20. Nice part is I sold some. So even if I sold the rest for a little loss, it was going to still be like a small green trade overall. So wasn't too concerned with it either. AMLX looks like a monster. I won't be touching this one. I'm already trailing it on the 20. So just slowly moving up my stop. That's all I can do. And if it gives me a better push, once it gives me like a 10% push, I'll trim a little piece. Yeah, another $1.50 from here, and then I'll trim a piece. Or once it takes out these after hours highs, I'll trim some. And that's it. No, we'll just chill on the rest. RYTM's gonna probably, who knows, red on it right now, but not much. We'll see. It's got the low day. MBIX looks fine too. For now, I'm trailing this one on the 10. So really, I'm risking like 50 cents right now, which is nothing. Alney's holding well. BSM, this thing's holding well too. And I sold a little piece yesterday. I sold a tiny little piece yesterday, like right in like 1730s, I believe. Yeah, I sold a tiny little fucking piece. 20%. And, now I'm gonna... I was leaving my stop at break even, but now, for now, I'll just leave my stop at the rising 10. Crazy momentum in some of these names. If this pushes up a little bit more, I might trim another tiny piece. Because, I literally sold some at a 5% gain yesterday. Peanuts. I'd rather be a little bit more patient. if this thing gets to 18 bucks, I'll probably only have half a position. Only because, this move from the lows, it's a little much. It's already up 20% here from the lows, so I don't want to wait for my 20% for my average. That'd just be we getting a little ridiculously extended here. Yeah, can't wait for all that. That would take days. So I'd rather just cut this thing and turn it into a half-size position and not worry about it at all. INSW was on my radar. It just needed more sideways up top. It just needs more sideways. I'd like to see this 50 catch up and just build out a new base.
EMED. EMED.
Yeah, this thing's clearly strong, right? I don't know. I don't see a clear, like a supply area to buy through. Nothing yet. Show patience. If things are meant to go, they have to set up properly for you. I've used this metaphor before. You don't go to the grocery store and just buy any bananas because there's bananas on the shelf, right? I know I don't. I make sure that my bananas are perfect with no moldy brown spots on them. I let the moldy brown spots develop at home. But you get my point. I don't just go and pick up whatever produce there's there just because there's produce. My produce has to be perfect. If not, I'm waiting until my grocery store gets a new shipment in. Or, until they get that shit set up properly. And then I'm a buyer. Nice volume bar on AEHR too today, relatively speaking. Wonder who's buying all that. Definitely not me. Huh?
I said kind of like a spin off of that analogy as well. It's like you would just go to a different grocery store, right? So it's like, if the stuff doesn't have what you're looking for, you would just go to a different grocery
Yeah,
store
that's right.
until you got what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Just go to a different grocery store until you find what you're looking for. Or if there's none and there's a shortage of bananas and they're all shitty, well, then you got to wait for a whole new crop of bananas to be planted and grown and set themselves up and then come into the market and be perfect for you. It's for you to be happy to own them. Hey, quick question. You didn't scoop AEHR this morning, did you? At the bar, I told you this thing was a power earnings gap setup. Well, it's not. I'm risking a buck basically, and I'm not up a buck yet. So, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up closing.
Added to my positions for
Okay, dude. These crude oil names look insane. How good they look, dude. Or how strong they are. They don't even look good. They're just crazy strong. Oxy's, making me a little depressed, dude. But my positions, I guess, with the exception of this turd, that just about to stop me out here. It's terrible. With the exception, some of my names are acting really, really well. This BSM's acting great. Their fundamentals were rock solid, though. IRDM looks just fine. REGN looks good. Vertex looks good. CCRN, nice move back up. Hey, my shit looks righteous, honestly. Maybe minus a handful of names. DVN healthy bounce today? Today or all week? I mean, this was looking pretty dreadful down here on the daily. Momentarily. So, talk about a bounce. Not today, for the last 8 days. I mean, I'm not even worried about what it's done today. They continue to show strength. What's blown my mind is the fucking move. I mean, You know, in 8 days, it's up 30%. You know, I mean, really, never has this stock done that. Not in 8 days. Never in 8 days has it gone up this much ever. Okay, maybe right here. Nope, that would be 8 days, 27%. I mean, 10 days it did, 37%. But in 8 days, this is the biggest bounce that DVN's ever had.
Are you still in STNG?
No, I wish, dude. Don't tell me that thing's going up. STNG.
It looks great.
S, yeah, STNG just needs. Fuck. Yeah, it's building out a whole new base, man. It's a tiny bit sloppy. I'm sure like recognizing that. Like like I'm looking at it and I'm just like, okay, where do I buy this thing? Like what feels safe? What looks safe? What looks like a clear level where you're like, all right, if that breaks out on volume, that looks good. You know, and but it's strong as shit. Yeah, AMLX made a new high today. Yeah, AMLX is a monster. I'm using the 20 as my trailing stop already, even though I got in up here. I just sized down a little bit yesterday when I bought it. And I'm looking for, 34 and $35 to trim a piece. Otherwise, this thing looks really good. It looks a lot like SNDX, just with a shorter base. Oh, CCRN. Very nice. Okay. So much for getting stopped out, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Nice comeback today. In a crappy ass market. When the market's much worse than yesterday. EGLE. Yeah. EGLE. But, I mean, they're still below moving averages. Nothing to do. Meanwhile, my favorite shipper in the entire market, Zim, is still getting absolutely destroyed. So, I don't know. The shippers are a no touch for me right now, unless it's TNK and STNG. These are the only two names I'd have any kind of interest in. That's it. Only once. And honestly, I'll just pass. That's what I'm talking about, CCRN. Now, when I look at this area right here, definitive stop area. I had, yeah, dividends are insane with Zim, but Zim's getting crushed, so, something's wrong. Something's wrong there. If it were such a, if it were such a great stock, institutions would be buying the hell out of it, and they're not. They're doing just the exact opposite. They're selling the hell out of it, so probably has something to do with shipping rates, and who knows how forever fucked those might be, but that's exactly why it's not going up. But yeah, when I look at something like CCRN, it's looking like a definitive stop area. And if this thing will push up for a few more days, then I'll end up using the 20, which is nice. I always like the opportunity to use the 20 if I can. Even though my average is a little bit above it right now, it's basically where the 10-day moving average is at. I did a really nice job at selling some, literally at a 10% move. I actually remember it was like 33.70s that I sold some, and then like 33 or 34.80s. So I thought the move after 2 days was a little excessive there. Two unusually big green candles. So I took some off. Only have half a position left. So that's nice. AMLX looks really nice too. RYTM might end up stopping me out later today. Who knows? I don't want to guess, but my stop is just underneath the 10 basically. And I have to keep it there because I took a little bit more size than I should have in this thin name. But if AMLX is gonna keep working like this, then who gives a shit? So I'm saying you gotta respect your stops at all time and let stocks work, and the ones that'll stop you out, and the ones that won't, won't. You know, AMLX since entry has been zero headache. Literally, absolutely zero headache. You know, and I won't sell much of this either. You know, I'll sell probably, I don't know, 15% or 20% of the position. I don't want to sell this name. Young IPO stock, you know, yeah, that's just like, you know, reclaimed its high. Yeah, I mean, this thing looks, these young IPOs, who knows how far this thing can go. Really, probably can go to 50. That's why I don't want to sell too much. Yeah, could easily give a 50% move. Could go to 50 in the next couple weeks. So I really want to avoid selling anything. And if it doesn't go to 50, well, then I got to work on the thumb method a little bit more. Yeah, AMLX looks really great. The same with SNDX. They look they look perfect, honestly. They look absolutely perfect. You know, and like you see this setup right here? Guys, you see this setup? You see this range? See that range? Nice little rectangular box, right? A move up, a nice rectangular box, and then I'm starting for another move up. One of my favorite examples of that was this one. Okay, look. A move up. See that rectangular box? Okay, and then, you know, obviously you didn't know what was going to happen here. You know, nobody knew what was going to happen right here, but this is the same fucking concept. Above moving averages, nice little range, starts to break outside of the range on volume, you know, and gone. And never turns back around on you. It's the same setup on AMLX. See the box? See the box? That's it. You know, that's it. I mean, I wish it was more complicated than that. In the right sector. See the box? You know, that's it. That's fucking it. So you just gotta wait. You gotta be patient. You gotta let the thing break out. And just use moving averages. Sell a piece into the strength and hold the rest until you're stopped out. Yeah, and if you get a shakeout, even better. Like SNDX gave a shakeout. SNDX gave a shakeout down here. And then I'm sure a lot of people sold. You know, the weak hands. And what it do? Right back into the range. And it's in the right sector. That's, you know, that's another key, guys. What sector is it in? It's in the right sector. Pharmaceutical. You know, it's just nothing magical. Don't overcomplicate your life. In the right sector. Does it have a nice setup? You know, does it have some nice fundamentals to go with it? If it does, that's a bonus. You know, if it doesn't, you know, it could still work, but fucking A, this DVN, son, this shit is ridiculous. I mean, I can't even get my eyes off this thing. It's so strong. I mean, this thing has refused to close below this 20 on this entire week on the hourly. Hasn't even closed below the 20 on the hourly. Insane. 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 Honestly. Yeah, exactly. Those shakeouts make sure that the only ones left are the strong ones. That's 100% correct. That's why you want to shake in the base. A really good bases have shakeouts. The best bases have shakeouts. Well, this is a little bit more of a sigh of relief for me. Seeing CCJ hold the 50. Again, I don't know what tomorrow brings, or next week, I should say. I have no idea, but the fact that the market is lower and then this is higher than the close is very nice for me because this still continues to be my largest position. I really hated seeing this thing come back that far, but you know I don't enjoy giving back that kind of money. I did it. I already did it the first time up here. I bought it in here at 2560s, and then I bought some more right here, and I was up well into the six figures up here, and I watched it all burn back. All of it. Sucks. And then I rebought some down here for undercut rally setup, and then I added. Where the fuck did I add? Right here. So I got a 2613 average, and of course this morning at 4 a.m. when I couldn't do anything about it, I was, my account probably blinked red on that position for a second. But it's nice to see it holding the 50 now on the daily. Like I said, it's my strongest conviction thesis in the market, but theses don't mean shit because thesis doesn't get you paid. But what it got me paid was buying this fucking undercut rally on Oxy down here. And I'm sure some of you guys heard me mention this 1,000 times. Buying this thing at 58 bucks basically with a stop at 57.60s. And look at this thing. My God. That would have been an awesome trade. I'd be sitting so comfortably right now, it'd be crazy. Yeah, let's go CCJ. Yeah, we'll see. This name's still got some work to do. It's obviously coming into declining moving averages on the daily. It's holding the ascending 50, but obviously below the declining 1020. Possibly some higher lows on the daily. That's always nice. It's still my favorite, conviction and thesis in the entire market. Holy shit. Unreal. I almost can't believe I'm watching this kind of strength right now in this market, and there's like no legitimate way I can get in this thing. Not any setups that I've studied. PSX, anything appealing? No, no. It looks like DVN and all the others. They need sideways. They need to tighten up. Where's the setup? I don't see any setups here on any of these. Not Oxy, not PXS, not XOM, not CVX. I mean, how can you buy this thing safely? It's like, again, like, okay, let me tell you this. I don't like Oxy, right? And if I don't like Oxy up here, I don't like any oil and gas names up here. As strong as they are, as incredibly strong as they are, and how much FOMO I have, I can't buy it. And if you guys were in this room a week and change ago, like some of you guys were, all of you guys heard me mention how I liked Oxy for an undercut rally setup on 927. So, I liked it at 58. I fucking hate it at 71. I fucking hate it. you know, versus, I hear people on Twitter saying how they want to buy these oil and gas names. It's like, but wait a second. How the fuck do you like it at 71, but you didn't mention it down at 58? There's only one or two traders that I even saw talking about it down there, right? That's it. And I was one of them. So it's like, to hear people mention that they want to buy Oxy and DVN, and they could 100% be right. These things can go on and double from here. I have no clue, right? But your risk reward is no longer there, right? It's no longer there. You could have bought DVN on the same day you bought Oxy down at 55. It's up almost $20 fucking dollars. So to even hear people say that they like these oil and gas names up here, but then to not hear a peep when these things were down in the 50s, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And that's because people can't control their FOMO, right? Now, the thing is, if this thing goes sideways for a week and builds out a nice little clean range and a clean supply area and gives me a nice tight setup, and then oil, I can see some continued strength in a few oil names, like, yeah, I can buy something like that, but where, right? The where is the question now. So, like, it's not that I don't notice it's strong, but how do I limit my risk so I can take my $200,000 position, or 3 or 4, right? Like, how do I do that? How do I buy 5,000 shares of DVN without getting myself absolutely smoked for $2 and losing 10 grand, right? Like, if I take my position, yeah, chasing brings money into the market, and that's totally fine. But if this were me and I bought Oxy on this undercut rally setup, right? I mean, I would have sold. I mean, realistically, if I actually did buy that, I would have sold some. Realistically, I would have sold some into this push into the 63s. I would have sold some into that push into the 63s, and then I would have just, I don't know how I would have played it actually. Coming into the declining 20 and then a move down, I don't know exactly how I would have played this. It's tough to buy these things underneath moving averages, but yeah, they're showing tons of strength, but I just couldn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger, but yeah, I liked it literally down here, and I'm sure you guys have heard me mention it 1,000 times, and I've shown the setup. It's an undercut of the low of the day and then rallied. It's an undercut rally setup. Scott Redler teaches it, and it's a great setup. But I sure as hell know he doesn't teach this setup. The buy the parabolic. It's too much too fast. So these stocks need to just slow down, go sideways for a few days, build out a new range, let these ascending moving averages catch up, get tight, and then we might be cooking with something. But until that happens, I'll just have to sit here and have FOMO and, wish I was in the trade. But I don't need to wish I'm in any trades. My IRDM's working great. My REGN's working just fine. My CCRN's working fine. AEHR's getting me paid. I mean, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid when I had very little risk on my positions. Any more kind of a push from this thing too, and I'll be getting 10%. Same shit with, how it happened with Savi yesterday. You get a quick 10%, pay yourself a little. So if this thing gets up into the 1720s, 1730s, I'll be sure to take some off. But yeah, I've got hella FOMO, man. Believe me, I'm in BSM. It's the only reason why I won't sell another share right now, because it's in the right sector, and I'm already in lower. I'm literally already in lower. I mean, believe me, I wish I were in Oxy. I wish I were in DVN or LNG or any of these others. LNG is frustrating. But yeah, I mean, I wish I were in them. But you know what? I always think this. I rather wish to be in a trade than wish to be out of a trade. I don't want to wish that I was out of the trade, because just taking a setup that's got super high risk. What are my criteria? I like to look for the top 30, 60, 180-day gainers, top yearly gainers, and then I look for consolidations. I also have a scan that if a stock goes up 10% or more on um, 300% above its average daily volume, I have a scan for that too. I also have a scan for things that are somewhat tight on a smaller time frame. You know, like this vet I just clicked on. It was the first one that came up. But you think about vet, right? Does it look like DVN or Oxy? This one's kind of a laggard, right? So if they both end up setting up, I'd want to be in DVN down the road. This EQT might be really nice down the road too. This EQT might be really nice down the road. Just needs to tighten up. I'm sure this weekly's starting to look a little bit better. Needs some work. RRC, a bunch of these CRK. The only names showing up on my scans right now are these energy names. For good reason too. But yeah, you want to see the top, 30-day gainers because that's how you end up in a setup like this one, right? RYTM came on my scan after it made this move. I mean, I had already saw it, on day 2, but then of course, by day 6 or 7 or 8, like this was the move, and I was like, what the fuck, from 5 to 15, I'm like in a couple days, so you can't just buy it. This looks like buying DVN right now. You're just gonna buy DVN or RYTM way up here? No. What did I do? It pulled back, found support on the rising 10, got super tight. I actually bought it on this day right here, which looking back at it wasn't the right day to do it, even though it worked. You should have waited for it to create some higher lows, which it did. It put in an even tighter day, a day where no bulls or bears are even in control, and then you should have bought it as it was breaking this little flag and making higher lows. And then what does it do? It goes on for 100% winner. If you're buying it at 13, in just a few more days, another 100%. That's why I scan for the top 30-day gainers. Morning, baby. What's up, babe? Oh, kill it. Crush it. You don't? Do you need anything? You need me to run to the store, babe? You're not feeling well? man, these oil, gas
BBSI.
names are just, it's just ridiculously impressive. But again, no FOMO. I mean, it is what it is. If I can't own it, I can't own it. I mean, what am I supposed to do? You know, literally, what am I supposed to do? Risk money because I want to try to make money? No, I want to keep my risk as absolutely minimal to nothing as possible. You know, I like super small losses and I like really big wins. You know, and I have like the funniest problem. Like I really don't love losing 10 grand, but I love trying to make six figures. I mean, you know, but it's hard to have one without the other. And the only way, you know, to limit your risk like that is to look for something that's super tight and not get FOMO and DVN. Like, how the fuck would I even make six figures in DVN now? Like, for that to happen, this thing would have to go to like 86 in the next couple days. Like, what the hell? It's like you already missed a big chunk of the move. Yeah, I saw the DraftKings news. I saw it. Yeah, something with ESPN, but yeah. I mean, it's a growth stock, dude. I'm not touching these. I'm good. I'll pass. Yeah, literally hard pass. I don't need to be in anything below moving averages, honestly. Not a thing. Like, you know, it's making me even consider about passing on Netflix too. I mean, this one I might actually consider for real, but you know, in reality, it's probably just a pass. I just don't need to headache myself with it at all. There's just no need, guys. There's no need. There's so many charts that are holding up well and showing strength. You don't need to own DraftKings. You think you're gonna own the best price? Like, you really think you really think you need to own it at, you know, whatever, 20, 19 bucks, 18 bucks? No. If it's meant to go higher, buy it at 26 when there's a nice setup above all moving averages. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always give the example of DAC. You know, I always give the example of DAC. Why are you even messing with it on any of this down here? You know how many people tried to find the bottom on DraftKings and got their asses absolutely smoked? For what? Look at DAC. Right? I give this example all the time. Like, why would you even mess with a stock when it's in a downtrend like this? Right? But then, all of a sudden, earnings come, big perk in volume, the 10 and the 20 start uptrending. It's still a no touch, but something's changed. It finally gets over the 200, right? There's still really no setup. It pulls back. It finds support on the rising 20, perks back up. You could have bought it right there over this day's high, or at $6, or you could have waited for it to make an even bigger move, right? Build higher lows, put in a really super tight day, right? A super tight day after it's been building higher lows and it's made a big move, right? And then you buy it right there at 1340. Right? There you go. And then what does it go on to do? Okay? There's your DraftKings in the future. If DraftKings ever comes back, you know, to being a great stock. Or they don't. And DAC is a piece of shit down here. So, you know, I always try to give that example because it's such a clean and simple example. And, you know, you just don't need to be in DraftKings. Besides, it's a, what sector is it in? Last I checked, these oil energy names are going bananas. And healthcare and pharmaceutical and biotech names are holding up really well. You know, I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 healthcare biotech names. And guess what? I'm green on all of them, right? Because my eyes are on the right sector. Anything else is utter nonsense, guys. You just don't need to be in it. You just don't even need to focus on it. First thing should be is this a nice setup? Next thing should be, is this a nice setup in the right sector? Third thing should be, how's the market looking? fourth thing should be, does this stock have some fundamentals to support, this thing eventually making a big move? If it doesn't, it could still go on to make a big move because the other parts are fine, right? Like, it's got good, it's got, a nice setup. It's in the right sector, and the market's healthy, and, it's got those components to it. But everything else, and then if it's got the nice fundamentals, well, then that's what'll carry the stock the furthest, right? That's what an institution would be like. Yeah, guys, look, accelerating growth, sales, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Quarter over quarter growth in sales, year over year, accelerated sales and earnings, new product that is like, going to be very beneficial to the market, whatever it is. But is it a nice setup? Is it in the right sector? And the rest is, forget about it. Yeah. And look, I don't even, yeah, the fact that you say I'm 100% spot on in this type of economy, healthcare, pharma, stocks are gold. They could be. I don't know that to be a fact, right? I mean, I really don't. Like, I can't sit here and say that in these type of markets, that's what's goes up. But my scans tell me that, that's true, at least for, this period of time, right? I don't know that this is exactly how healthcare and pharma stocks reacted back in, 2008 during the global financial crisis, or in 2000 during the dot-com bust, right? I didn't go back and study healthcare and biotech stocks at that point. But, just seeing what I'm seeing, with the stocks that we're watching and the stocks that we're scanning for, it's the only fucking names coming up, right? And they're the only names above moving averages. And it's like, we don't know that, something's gone up too high. I mean, again, we just looked at DAC, right? The stock goes from $3.50, goes 500% in 4 months, 400% in 4 months, gives you finally a nice setup after 400%. And somebody's going to look at that and go, oh, that's up way too much. Like, I wouldn't buy this up here. No, it's got a nice setup. Pulled back, found support on the rising 20, built a higher low, got super tight above the 10, and then went, right? And then had you bought it there and not left until it closed below the 20, but then at this point, if you had this kind of patience, now you could use the 50. When does it close below the 50? The 50 would be the most ideal if you can get yourself in a scenario where you end up holding for the 50. You're not stopped out until $66, and you're in at 13. And you thought something went up, 300% already was a lot. Well, guess what? It just went up another 400 for you. So, nobody knows how high is too high. I'll just put it like that. Same way somebody doesn't know how low is too low. Ask the people how they're feeling in Upstart right about now. When people thought that at 200, at this 200 was too low. When people are like, oh man, this thing down here, it's just no way. It's just too low. It's just too low. It's already down 50% from all-time highs. Yeah, you're right. It is. But where the fuck is the setup? And if you want to buy something like that, well, now you're dead. Oh man, at 100, I gotta average down. All right. Okay, average down then. No problem. Have fun. You're dead. Oh man, at $30, this is too cheap. This huge gap down. This thing's got to go up. It's got to go up. At $29, oh really? You're down another 50%. Like, so people's mentality is just fucking backwards. But it's their own problem, man. And so I'm here to help you guys and teach you that you just avoid pieces of shit like this. You don't know how cheap something is. Like, you don't know how cheap something can get, and you don't know how high something can go. So when I see DVN, yeah, while this is impressive, and while I believe that this can still go much higher, I need a setup. I need to see it pull back, find support on the rising 10 and 20, put in some higher lows, create a nice little tight range, give me a tight day, and then I'll buy it. Right? And that's it. That's literally the formula. And I don't worry about anything else. I don't worry about people's opinions. I see Twitter people saying how much they want to buy DVN and Oxy, and they may very well be right. But why is this the very first tweet you're making about it, and you weren't talking about it down in the 50s? You know what I'm saying? So, look, fact is 95% of the people you ever come across for trading, they suck. Not only do they suck, they don't make money. It's far and few between, and it's because people start talking about stocks after they've gone up 35% without a proper setup. That's all. That's all. It's not that people can't be right and, be right every now and again. But the fact is are people, do people know how to limit their risk when they're wrong? And then do people know how to sit in something properly when they're right? There's no way to limit risk in DVN here. Literally. I could limit risk in DVN by buying 1,000 shares, but I'm not going to get paid, and it sure as fuck isn't going to make up for any losers that I take. I need my winners to make up for my losers, and after something's done this, that's not even possible anymore. REGN still looks pretty dang good. VRTX, very nice green day off of the 10. I mean, just perfect. CCRN, not too bad. AMLX, a little pullback, unfortunately, but whatever. My stop is still the close of the 20, so I didn't take big size in this thing, so I was able to widen the stop. Something that I've been talking about wanting to try to do is widen my stops. Meanwhile, BSM just going vertical for me. And since I already sold a piece, I'm just going to use the... I'll sell another little piece because I only sold 20%, and I probably want to sell like another 20 if this thing goes a little bit more. But then I'll use the 10 and the 20 maybe later. But for now, we just go hang out. Nothing to do. Just manage our positions. I bought one new name today, AEHR. I was prepared for it in the morning.
FDVXF. HSDT.
is the dollar looking? TLT. This is unbelievable, honestly. I almost can't believe I'm seeing treasuries make new lows. This is kind of scary, honestly. I don't like to be such a pessimist, but it's not nice. Yeah. I was scanning last night, and AEHR. I noticed they had earnings, and I even saw some people late at night make mention of it, like, oh, they're up 10% in after hours on earnings. And as soon as I knew that, I had my alert set over these after hours highs. Alex, you nice recovery today. I thought you mentioned it. Yeah, I just told you it would be one I wouldn't play personally. Just too thin for me. 250,000 shares today on a $15 stock is tough. You know, like realistically, I'd want to buy like 15, 16,000 shares or something of this, and it's just too thin. I can't be 10% of all the volume that goes through on the buy and the sell in a day. That's how you get yourself in trouble. LTHM, yeah, I saw that one perk up too. Yeah, no setup though, but possibly still building out the base. Not far from all-time highs, so there's not tons of overhead. Yeah, LTHM looks fine. LAC was also on my... Oh! So much for LAC being on my radar. I don't know. LTHM might not do too well if... how's SQM look? ALB looks a little bit better. But boy, I don't know, man. SGML. SGML still kind of holding up well. I don't know, man. LTHM looks good, but I don't know that LAC is prognosticating a good future. I don't know. They're all passes for me right now anyway. There's not a setup. Like, where would you buy this thing, right? Nowhere. Not yet. It'd have to pop back up, get tight, and then maybe if it takes out this little line that I drew earlier, 32 and a half. Just get tight right underneath this. If I'm looking at this, I'm literally sitting here saying, like, okay, there's pretty good supply right in this area. According to this top, these tops, and here. So get right underneath it, get sideways, get tight. You'll be right back up above all moving averages, and then maybe buy it for the move higher, right? But for now, yeah, SGML super strong. Yeah, I don't want to play high cheat setups. I want low cheat setups. Meanwhile, these Bitcoin names look like ass. Mara, Riot, Hut, BitF. Funny, because BitF's my favorite crypto miner too. I know way more about them than I should. Only because I made good money on them over here. Back in November. I was actually down a bunch too, but I was holding. I wasn't really a swing trader at the time. I was just playing with conviction. TRQ. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yep. Problem is this one's still a little thin too, but it's a bit more expensive. I personally don't love it. I'll just pass on setups like these. I don't even know what they do. Let's find out. Copper. Nice. It's the only copper name holding up, huh? How's FCX looking? That's a copper name too. Interesting. FCX looks like ass and TRQ looks pretty good. Market looks like it's gonna roll over some more.
Buds.
And I also don't know that I'm gonna leave my stop here this far down on AEHR personally. You know, after almost 10% move higher from my average, and I didn't sell. It's like 8% move. I didn't sell anything. So really, at this point, I don't really expect this thing to come all the way back. I probably won't use low a day. I probably use for now the 20 EMA on the 60 minute. Things that I like to do as well. That's another thing. If I get a really nice push like that, you know, I've always said it before, the strongest stocks are supposed to go out and stay out, right? And obviously we're in a really weak market, so the likelihood of this failing on me is even higher. And I got a good move. I didn't trim. You know, the least I can do is not take that same kind of a loss. And again, all these moving averages on the 60 minute, they're all trending up. So, I would expect to see buyers try to step in on the rising 10 or the rising 20. So, just to eat a smaller bit of a loss if I'm wrong. But, I do just want to be patient. Once I trim, if it gives a really nice push to where I get the opportunity to trim, then I'll move my stop up to break even, or whatever. Leave it where it's at. Still use the hourly ascending moving average instead. Yeah, I saw that on the hourly. Wicked right back up. That was nice.
OBLGLG.
But I'm fairly encouraged seeing some of these uranium names today, honestly. I thought I was going to get stopped out, and I didn't. Nice to see. For now, we'll see what next week brings. Yeah, and I'm gonna be pretty honest. In this market right now, I'm pleasantly surprised at what my names are doing. You know, I really am. I mean, I cannot complain about some of the action that I'm seeing in some of these names in this kind of a blood market. It's pretty good. It's a good feeling. It gives me the confidence to know that if the market did turn back up, my stops, would more than likely be respected, and these names would continue on higher. Fucking Matador. It's crazy too.
CTCGF.
My trading platform, I use E-Trade, Trade Zero. I have Fidelity as well. Got a couple accounts, but I don't really use Fidelity too much. The execution kind of blows. But yeah, I use E-Trade and Trade Zero for my two platforms for trading. And I don't really like Trade Zero either. They suck too. Pretty bad. And then I use Thinkorswim for scanning. I wish I could execute with TD Ameritrade, but unfortunately I got booted from them.
EDTK.
Yeah, unfortunately I got the old boot. Otherwise, I would just be executing right on this platform. Would make my life fucking so much easier, but whatever. God forbid that anything's ever easy. RYTM's had this real consistency of making these ugly ass wicks recently to the top side. You know, these wicks here, they're not encouraging. Just thought I'd make mention of that. If I get stopped out, you know. Interactive Brokers is nice though. You get good fills. Interactive Brokers is a great platform, man. Get it figured out, honestly. They were the ones I was gonna go with. I've heard nothing but good things. Not to mention their stocks acting well. You know, you're with a good company, it looks like. You're with the company people want to be with. Actually, this IBKR has a perfect setup if this thing will just tighten up right underneath here. Couple more days, tighten up right underneath these tops. Nice little top base, you know. Get tight right underneath all moving averages. Get tight right underneath this, and I would consider buying something like this myself. A little slow, but sizing right. You get terrible fills? Damn, sorry to hear that. I've heard good things about interactive brokers, honestly. Surprising, honestly, to hear that. Yeah, I got booted because what they call toxic order flow. Means I was taking too big of market orders and they had to fill me, and I was a day trader.
SHLTQ.
Yeah, champagne problems. Yeah, I wish I were still with them, but they didn't like what I did to them over the course of like I don't remember, like maybe a 3 month period. Like over 3 months, I think I made like 2 million and change day trading, and they didn't like that. Maybe a little bit less, but they had given me a couple of warnings about taking too many orders. They wanted to start charging me per order, and I was like, I told them, I said, you guys are like free, commission free. I said, why would I pay? If this is a commission free brokerage, why would I pay? And then I spoke with a representative and I said, well, look, I said, I'm happy to pay, but you guys don't send my order flow, and they said, well, no, payment for order flow is what we do. That's how it's a commission free broker. I said, but you guys want to charge me for my orders. Therefore, wouldn't be a commission free broker for me. So I said, if you guys don't deliver, my order flow, I said, then, I'll happily pay the dollar per order or whatever the hell they wanted to charge. I think it was $3 per order, which I still probably wouldn't have cared, honestly. I mean, if they had just kept me on, I think I might have done like 500 orders a day. So I'd have been paying like $1,500 a day to trade, $7,500 a week or something like that. And really that was peanuts. I mean, there's a lot of weeks I was making, 200-300 grand day trading. So wouldn't have really mattered. But yeah, they weren't willing to do that. They're willing to sell your orders to, Citadel, but they also want to charge you too. So they want to give you shit fills, and they want to, they sell your order flow and they want to charge you when it's supposed to be free. Imagine the madness. All my positions are acting well, man. There's not really much for me to do here. RYTM might end up cutting me out, but everything else looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a great problem to have. Or was, I guess. I don't care to day trade anymore. It's a waste of time. I'd rather, be ready to call my day here now and, have my open working positions. And believe me, I've got much more working right now than I would during any one single day trade. No, I don't think Minervini started as a day trader, to be honest with you. I've never heard him say that he used to day trade. Well, if you're going to get charged $1 per trade, make sure you make the trade worth it. Don't just get in and out of shit like you're, crack addict. Just buy something right and sit tight. And if you lose $1 extra on top of whatever else trade you took, then it shouldn't matter, right? Not a big deal. If you're going to lose $20 on a trade, but now it's $21, okay. You could live with that. Life's not over. Yeah, hard to day trade back then because you didn't have that same kind of execution platform as today. Day trading's like a you know it's been gamified. What work do I have besides trading? Um, Taking care of my dogs, trying to learn how to cook, making sure my laundry's done, watching my favorite Netflix shows. I'm in a pool league, riding my side by side. What other jobs do I have? Being a good boyfriend. What else? Let me think of a few more good ones. No, not watching Dahmer. I mean, I've got some for real FOMO missing out on these two, but oh well. Yeah, yep. Oh, cool. Glad someone mentioned me to you and Goblin Gang. They're good dudes out there. They're real good dudes. Tommy, Gary, Bofo, Herf, Fizz, Diego. They're all everybody there is super solid. Max. I mean, they're all solid dudes in that Discord. I'm sure I didn't name a few of them, but they're all really good people. A few of them I've spoken to privately. A few of them I still communicate with like all the time.
CNXA. CNXA.
Yeah, it's hard to have a career or a job and a day trade. Because you don't know when your opportunity is going to show up as a day trader. Is it going to show up late in the day? Is it going to show up first thing in the morning? You don't really know. So yeah, with swing trading, yeah,
CNXA.
I put in a couple like an hour at night, to scan maybe 30 minutes at night now, sometimes even less because I've just kind of got it down. And then in the morning 30 minutes before market open, and then 2 hours 3 hours for market open, and I'm done. If this thing makes a decent little push over 17s on AEHR, I'm going to trim some. It won't be a massive trim, like 20% of the position, but if it'll give me a 8.5% move in a day, I'm going to sell like a third.
CBO.
It's tough to trust too much of this stuff in this market. My God, DVN, dude, holy shit, impressive stuff, man. Super impressive. Yeah, you don't want to be in the computer, in front of the computer all day. Nobody does. And you have to come up with a bright idea like every fucking minute to make money. All right, CL's getting to an interesting spot too, right to the declining 200 on the daily. You know, I would expect that this probably starts to find some resistance, some overhead here, and then hopefully tighten up over the next few days. And hopefully, if this thing tightens up over the next few days, that'll be the opportunity that these oil gas names need. personally. I'm starting to, get suspect a little bit of this quick ass move without a pullback. Yeah, 20%. Probably a pullback coming sooner rather than later. Would be my guess if I had to take one. CANO nice today, huh? Good for whoever bought this. Well, I don't really trade high cheats, so I can't speak to them too much. But a VRTX gave a nice little low cheat setup. So really, a breakout isn't until a stock is breaking out over highs, right? So, really, if you were waiting for VRTX to break highs, you'd be buying 305. Instead, you get this little pivot here, right? And it's pretty clear that there's some resistance right there, some resistance right there, and then some resistance in these couple days, right? And so as it breaks through, it's not a breakout, so it's like a low cheat basically, or even a mid cheat, I guess. The low cheats are probably even a little bit lower, or the stocks have even deeper bases. I'll find a good example and give you one as soon as I see it. Yeah, see, RYTM, I knew all those little wicks weren't acting right too. But I'll just wait for this thing to stop me out. CCRN, though, in the meantime, is acting great. CCRN, meantime. Yeah, AMLX, that's just a breakout, right? That's just a breakout. It's basically breaking the range. Like these wicks, yeah, they're outside of the range, but they don't really count. Not a lot of price action took place, above those wicks. For the most part, all the price action that took place was right in this box. The big majority of it, right in this box. So, as it's breaking out, it's just a breakout. I wouldn't call that like a high cheat or anything in particular.
DIGP.
Yeah, sometimes that'll make me hesitate too, right? Something not having a tight day. All right, come on, RYTM, just knock me out already then. You bastard. Yeah, it's a cheat setup because you're getting in before the crowd. It's not a real breakout. Like some real cancelim traders are actually waiting for the stock to break out. And they want to see a nice little, some tight right underneath the breakout spot. Fuck. I was watching this one earlier and I didn't pull the trigger and I just thought about it too. NOC would be like a low cheat setup too. Fuck my life, man. I had the alert set there this morning too. Gosh darn it. And this was one that I did want to own. Fuck. Damn it, man. I would have had a perfect fucking entry too. Son of a bitch. Literally right here. 8:30 my alert came in. 8:30 and 16 seconds. Fuck. And I pulled it up too. I pulled it up and everything, and I just took it off my screens, and I didn't put it up on one of my other charts, and I just lost track of it, and I just thought about it right now. Man, $4 risk on a $400 stock. Oh my god, dude, I could have bought 1,000 shares here and been sitting comfortably, no problem. I would have bought 1,000 shares probably. Maybe a little bit less. But honestly, who knows? Yeah, probably 1,000. Probably 1,000. I fucked that up so bad. Damn. Be up almost 2-1 on your risk reward so far. No, that's terrible. I just got taken out of RYTM too. Oh, man. NOC. I fucked up. That's fucking terrible. That is just terrible. Yeah, there's a low cheat setup basically, or a dip buy setup, whatever guys want to call it, right? Super nice tight day yesterday. Very nice tight day. You know, holding the 1020, and then the market gaps down and NOC wants to go higher. I mean, NOC is basically just screaming, hey, I'm going to go higher. You know, I will go higher. That's basically what it just told me. You need to look for tight. Brother, think about it. If you had 100 grand for swing trading and you took NOC and you took a 5% position and you wanted to buy, you know, $5,000 worth, you know, you'd be buying 12 shares or 15, whatever. I mean, fuck, you could have even taken a full 10% position there and bought a, you know, a $10,000 position and bought, just call it 20 shares. 20 shares, you're risking $4. If you're wrong, $80. If you lose $80 of your 100 grand, you're stressed? You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Not in my opinion. You should be feeling just fine. Right? And then now all of a sudden your 20 shares are up $7 a piece. And you know, you're up 150 on it. Yeah, exactly. It's all about sizing and looking for tight. You know, the thing is this chart been dying? Nope. Right? It's just been going sideways. But then what did it give us? One really nice tight day. A move up, right? After, you know, kind of looked like it was going to fail to break out, and then it kind of broke down, but nope. Popped right back up, pulled back, built higher lows, got super tight above the 10 and 20. Set your alert. I scanned for it yesterday. That's exactly why at 8:30 in the morning, you know, my alert's triggering. Wherever the hell it's at. There it is. 8:30 and 16 seconds. Why? Because I scanned for it the night before. Now, I didn't take the trade. I fucked up, right? I wasn't paying attention like I should have been. But had you been prepared, this is as tight as it gets. Look at how tight all the 60-minute moving averages are. Look at how tight the daily moving averages are. Look at how tight of a day it put in yesterday. I mean, you can't even ask for a fucking tighter day. You really can't. Look at the range. There's no range yesterday. So it either breaks to the upside or breaks to the downside. And if it breaks to the upside, it might want to just continue. And why would you think that? Well, because this stock has just been going up for a long time. The 200-day tells you that it's just in an uptrend. The 100-day is telling you that it's in an uptrend. You know, the 10 and 20 finally got nice and tight, got flat, you know, and then gave you a really tight day and you buy it. Yeah, Trend, you're right. You can just go on YouTube. I upload today's day on YouTube, and you can see all the names that I had pulled up. You can see what names I mentioned that I bought, when I would consider buying something, how much of something I might consider buying. You know, I go through all of these things all the time. Oh shit! What? Why didn't I get an alert? What the fuck? Shit! I would have liked to have sold 1720s. Guess it doesn't matter. I just sold a little piece of AEHR anyway. I just sold a third. 8.5% gain. Not bad. Sava gave me something pretty nice yesterday too. Although, I stopped out on the rest for flat, but and yesterday I only sold 20% Sava, so I made sure to just sell a little bit more this time around on AEHR. Just a touch more.
También, no sé. Sí, también.
Yeah.
Déjame, yo le pregunto a... También ellos pueden venir, no me acuerdo cómo se llama la escuela, no es acá en
Oh.
Leaders, es en otra escuela.
Okay. Well, me dejas saber porque, yo voy a estar libre, so.
Ah, ok, yo te aviso.
Okay. Sounds good, Mom. All right. Thanks. Yeah, AEHR was cool. I'm I don't know. It was a nice move for my average, that's for sure. Yeah, I just sold a third. Now I way less stress, right? Way less stress on the trade. And then my stop, it's not at low a day anymore. I'm going to slowly inch it up, right? This is a clearly a strong stock. Look at the massive volume coming in today in these hourly bars, right? This is either being pumped incredibly well by some pumpers or it's being bought by an institution. There's really no in between. It's being bought and held by some pumpers really well, or it's being bought and accumulated by an institution. So now, I'm not stressed on the trade anymore. There's less. I locked up some gains, and if it's a real strong stock, I expect strong stocks to go out and stay out. And so I'll slowly inch up my stop. I want to get it up to my average as quickly as possible, but I also don't need to just see it come back, tap, get stopped out, and then continue higher. So, but I'll be proactive. And instead of losing $1 per share now, I'm only going to be potentially losing 40 cents a share. Yes, I just moved it mentally. I just moved my stop up just underneath the 20 of the hourly, 60 minute. 60-minute chart, 20 period moving average, 20 EMA. If I get a close, an hourly close below that candle, then I'm out. You know, and then if this thing pushes out again tomorrow, I'll move my stop to break even. And depending on the push that I get tomorrow, tomorrow, on Monday, I might trim a little bit more. You know, if from my average this thing ends up going to, call it close to 19 bucks, I'll sell another, another little piece. No, but again, the market's going down and this thing's going up. I mean, that's AEHR screaming for you that it's going to go higher. That's AEHR saying, I'm going to go higher. I mean, imagine if this market weren't crap. This thing could go for who knows how long. Probably right back to 30 bucks. I mean, this thing probably ends up getting back up here. Who knows? I have no idea. I'd like to own some for that, though. And at least half my position would be great. At least. But yeah, after I trim, you could leave your stop still, because you're still risking $1, but now that you've trimmed up some gains, but then it would end up being a flat trade. And this is too nice of a move to watch this thing go flat or red. Even like a couple dollars. Like I was risking quite a bit. I was risking almost $8,000 on this thing. So, having that dollar stop. Now it's a 40-cent stop, on much less size. So, my risk literally just got cut in, by 70%. And now that I realize some gains, it wouldn't be a red trade anymore. So that's how I like to treat it. Yeah, I'm Colombian, Puerto Rican, and Spanish was my first language. I had to learn, you know, English reading books in school and talking to friends and playing in the neighborhood and shit like that. It's really like my first language now, but
QTEK.
Yeah, parcero. Yeah, I'm also man, I'm Colombian Puerto Rican, so I'm familiar with the lingo. I love Colombia, dude. It's one of my favorite countries. It's probably where I want to go retire, honestly, someday.
QTEK. Gram.
Yeah. What's the minimum average daily volume? I like to see the charts regardless. So, yeah, I've got like a mental criteria, right? But yeah, you just take your account, multiply it by 10. If you're trading with, 2 million bucks or even a million, I mean, something smaller, right? I mean, if you're trading with like 100,000, like you cannot be looking at charts that aren't trading a million shares a day. Or should I say, 300,000 shares a day at at $30. Like you want to be in some liquid names. I'd even say more than multiply your account by more than 10. You want to have like absolutely no effect on the stock. Let's put it like that when you buy something. Unfucking believable. These names are hanging out right at the highs after this move. It's just crazy. Real.
LFER. LFER. Chekhov.
Oh boy. I don't see much else to do for myself here. I mean, I'm going to be patient with all the names I own. CCJ looks fine. IRDM's got plenty of room to work. So I'm using the 20 already. It's either going to be a sick trade or it's going to be a small green. REGN's got room to work. It has to close below the 10, meaning it probably would have to break below today's lows and close below them. So whoops.
Rise.
So close below today's lows, and I'd probably cut REGN, honestly. VRTX looks fine. We're just gonna relax. Not much to do in this one. CCRN looks great. I mean, almost stopped me out too. Almost stopped me out on the remainder of my position, but nope. Held up just fine. AMLX. I've got a nice wide stop on this thing. I only have half a position, so I'm using a close below the 20 already. 31.30 average, and risking about $2 still. Risking about $2. MBIX is fine. I haven't sold any of this one either. We'll see. Using a close of the 10 for now. So it's it'd be like a 50-cent loser, which is nothing. This one's kind of dancing around my average, but as long as it holds low of day of yesterday, I'm gonna just hang out. SNDX looks fine. I will actually move up my stop. Yeah, I try to be proactive too. You know, move up my stops when I can.
IPW.
What's going on here? Yeah, move up my stops whenever I can. Whenever the stock gives you an opportunity to lessen the risk, take advantage. This Lily's been great for me, and I'm still holding a big position, so I've no intentions of leaving at all either. Either way, it'll be a nice green trade. Plus, I absolutely killed that first part of this trade because of a gift. I caught a huge gift overnight, which was awesome. Was fucking awesome. But yeah, now it's just time to be patient. Again, the market sucks ass, and Lily's still acting like this, you know? That's all you need to know. Yeah, it really is a nice feeling. Nice sells on my end too on AEHR. And I sold a little bit more than I did yesterday on Sava. Kind of learned my lesson yesterday. When you get a 10% move that quickly, you know, I only trimmed 20% of Sava yesterday. I really got about just over a third off of on AEHR. So I had 8,000 shares when I first bought it, and I sold 3,000. So a little over a third. No, I did not. I bought Lily in the morning. Right? I liked how tight this day was right here. Moving averages were super tight. Chart had been in an extra big uptrend, you know, and you know, got nice and tight. And then I had an alert set over this day's high, and I bought it literally right in this hourly candlestick. This one right here, with my stop at the low of the day. And it came down. It almost hit it, but nope, popped right back up. And then in after hours, some awesome news. Caught a gift, and I'll take it. Every now and again, you're gonna catch a gift, right? Good news came out, but is good news surprising with a stock that's in an uptrend? Not really. You know, is bad news surprising when a stock is in a downtrend? Not really.
QTEK. QTEK. QTEK.
Yeah, for now, my positions are acting so well. Honestly, in this market, it's such a nice surprise. Um, you know, some of my names just don't care about the general indices, and that's great, honestly. This, these charts, man, are so ridiculous.
EVFM.
NOC was kind of like a little low cheat setup. My entry, I was staring at it this morning. I would have taken like 486, 487 average would have been my average with risking about $4. Literally nothing. I could have had like a 20% account position there on 1,000 shares and been risking $4,000. Like, and that would be like I don't know, like a half of a percent of the portfolio, even less, even less. Holy shit, crude, man, this is getting 5% day today, huh?
METX.
Yeah, low cheat. Yeah. A Lily's like a low cheat setup. If you're waiting for the breakout, you were going to be waiting to, buy over 335. Yeah, I'm good. I was already selling into that. But it was also a downtrend break.
METX.
Pretty clear downtrend. And it obviously broke up over it. But yeah, when I bought LLY, it's like a low cheat setup, right? Getting right back up above all moving average, but everything was super tight. Wow, crude. This is getting out of hand here. But yeah, everything's, I'm in the driver's seat in all my positions, so it's just a matter of slowly inching up stops and if you get good pushes, trimming little pieces and then just sitting patiently. The fact that the market's just pressing and continuously going lower, but my positions for the most part are either just hanging out or finding support where they're supposed to or even pushing back up. That's in this market, that's as great of a sign as I'll ever get. That I might at least be on the right names. Now, do these names come back and stop me out? Yeah, they probably will in this shitty ass market. But I've done a good job at trimming, names that have shown some strength right away and then sitting patiently in others, and there's really not a lot to do, guys. This shit's boring. This is boring trading. Very fucking boring. Yep, have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. I'm out of here right behind you. Probably 5 more minutes. I don't see a whole lot more to do. I mean, I'm definitely not buying anything today. Not anything else. AEHR was it. It's the only one. Right? And what's a strong stock supposed to do? Go out, stay out. It's kind of what it's been doing. So it's strong. It's too bad rhythm stopped me out. But it's not looking too good right now. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. I don't see shit else to do. Just, that's it. Just manage your positions. Slowly move up stops if you can. If stocks don't want to respect their moving averages, then I'm out. But that's it for me, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. What do I think about calm? I'll answer this one. No. No, where's the setup? Right? Where's the setup? It's a pass, brother. You know, it broke down, right? And then it found resistance clear as day on the lower time frame against the 200 on the hourly, and also the 10 and the 20 declining on the daily. There's not much to do there. You know, there's really not, brother. Just avoid it, cuz look, if I were looking at this thing flipped, I would be like, "Oh, you know what? It made a nice move up. It pulled back. It found support on the rising 10 and 20. You know, it's got this nice little breakout spot over these two wicks, you know, which really we're looking at the chart upside down, meaning it looks like a good short, man. You know, I would literally say to you, yeah, just wait a few more days, let it tighten up, and then as soon as it starts to break these little two, you know, lows or highs, really, you know, buy it. Or in essence, you know, short it. You know, let it tighten up, and then as soon as it starts to take out these lows, 53, short it. I'm not really a big fan of shorting, but yeah, this has more work to do to prove itself. Much more work. And until it proves it to you, then you don't got to get involved, you know, because you don't got to try to catch this bottom. It is in an uptrend, though. I will give it that. It is in an uptrend. You know, found support on the rising 200, push right back up, higher low, higher low. Could this just be another higher low? It could be. It could be. But we don't need to guess, right? We just react when it sets up properly. But yeah, I did. I almost traded calm right here. I like the move up. I like how it went sideways, and literally as it was taking out these tops, you know, I was looking at it right on this front side, right here. Call it $59 with a stop at, you know, 58 would have been. Right? I was looking at it right there. But no, it's just not strong enough. And if you want to own it, it's got some proving to do. That's all. You know, as for these crude names, I kind of expect there to be some resistance coming up here on the daily. Meaning, you know, a lot of these oil and gas names should start to pull back, in my opinion. Pull back and start to consolidate some. That would be ideal. You know, like I wouldn't be surprised to see Oxy kind of come back down and just go sideways. If it's really strong, it really won't break down. It'll just go sideways, like above, you know, $69 or something. And then if it sets up, I would love to own this name for later. But until then, we don't got to do nothing. You know, we have what we already have, and we're just managing the risk that we already have, which is plenty in this market. I mean, I'm hoping to have another opportunity or two to maybe trim a few of these. If there's going to be like some major weakness in a few of these, I'm going to cut them early. Not cut them, but trim them early. You know, some of these I've already got really nice cushions on them that I can use the 20 and whatnot. But, you know, for the most part, you know, I don't really want to own a bunch of shit in this market, man. This market sucks ass. You know, the last thing I really need is to wake up and everything that I own is gapped down, you know, 3% or 4%, like every single name. You know, that would be brutal. Like this SRPT is not really acting great. Everything's nice and tight, but it's not acting great. So who knows? I moved my stop up though, so if it closes below the 50 on the daily, like, you know, I don't know, I moved it up 50 cents basically. But 50 cents on 1,200 shares is, you know, $600 I don't have to lose. You know, same thing with this MBIX. You know, I'm using the 50 on the hourly. Slow and steady, which is literally right now basically at my average, you know, 108.49. So it's basically there. So essentially, this thing comes back down to my average, I'll cut it. AMLX, I have small enough size that I can be patient. The loss doesn't bother me. But yeah, most of these guys, we're gonna manage our risk. We already took proper size, and then the rest is it's out of our control. The market's absolutely bleeding today. I mean, absolutely bleeding today, and our shit's holding up. What more could we ask for? That's it. I couldn't ask for anything more. We'll go through those a little bit more, Oni. If you have more questions on that, bring it up again. And then if you have a chart or two, you know, that you want to pull up and let me go through, then yeah, we'll run through some more charts, man. Don't worry, we got all next week. So I'm not going anywhere, and I'll be back. So anyway, guys, thanks for coming on. Enjoy your weekend. Don't do anything crazy. Don't get in trouble. Don't get arrested. And we'll see you guys back on Monday. Have a good one.